I knew the potential that she had, and I just wanted to bless her. I wanted to bless her. If I could have gave her the world, I wanted to give her the world. Not that I didn't love the rest of them, but her, this one right here, this one right here, I wanted to give my all to. But I just didn't know how. I didn't know how to talk and socialize with her and tell her how much I loved her. I didn't know how to do that. I didn't know because I wasn't taught how to. But my heart says, I love you. My prayer says, I want the very best for you.
I love that. Y'all finna jack me all up. Praise God. This so feel like a Romans 8:28 moment for me, that all things work together, because literally all day I'm like, Timothy get here, and then finally I had to just kind of get quiet with God and say, God, you know what needs to be said, you know what needs to be done, you know what's gonna happen. And when I saw your text, and we're like coming down the street, it was just something about, I felt like your mom needed to be here. That means so much to me. Tell me about these little stashes you used to do in the Christmas and stuff like your mama here.
I don't know. Like, anytime I had money, like she talked to me a lot. I was like her friend, her confidant. You know, even though I was a child, she talked to me about everything, and I just felt helpless. I was a kid. But anytime I got any money, like I would slip it to her because I knew she really wouldn't take it. But I knew she needed it. Like, bills were due and stuff just needed to happen. So anytime I had money, I would, slip it in her Bible or slip it in her purse, or I'll get her a nice card and I'll slip it in there and, just make sure she, it wasn't much, but it was something,
It's that little widow's mite type deal.
Yeah.
It made a big difference too, I'm sure. Just even knowing it did. To that level. Wow. Yeah, oh my God, my heart is overwhelmed because I just feel like everything that is going to happen for this family this year, it's your time. That's why I knew that it was bigger than me. It was bigger than a company. It was bigger than anything in connection to market or anything. For me, I feel like God chose every fighter. I feel that God handpicked every person that I coach and work with. I feel that February 28th day was not in vain. I said, God, if you just keep me alive long enough to just finish this tour, I'll do it. And he wouldn't take me home afterwards. It's well with my soul, because I knew that we had the ability to be somebody's answered prayer. That's my only prayer, is that somebody's crying, somebody's praying, somebody's hoping, somebody's trying to figure out how you get through this door. And I always felt like, God, I never asked you to open this many doors for me. I don't need to be with billionaires and millionaires. What's this story? And he got me right together and says, this has nothing to do with you, little girl. I am not introducing you to millionaires and billionaires for you to fluff yourself. I have to walk you through these doors because you got to walk my people through those doors. You understand what I'm saying? And literally today, I always talk about the red in the bush, but I've never heard God speak this so clearly to me, that everybody knew that he was willing to sacrifice Isaac. But the reason why there was a ram in the bush, not because he was going to sacrifice Isaac, but because he was obedient. See, obedience creates the rams in the bush. The obedience, God loves testing us. He loves seeing when you give when I tell you to give. He loves seeing when you call when I tell you to call. When you pray when I tell you to pray. When you push back that plate when I tell you to push it back. And when you do that, then he opens up the windows for heaven.
Yeah.
Then he does that. So today, I just was determined I'm going to be obedient. I'm not going to try to figure it out. I'm not going to try to come up with my own listen. Take the word and give me Jesus. I must do his will. So I love that these are two women of God who so many people, and we ain't nowhere near done with the story and part of this book and your daughter's talents. Like when I tell you, hey, we rarely even touch somebody's talents and connection to honor because we want them to be honored. That's not your case with kids. We need you. And I'm like, God, how in the world? And God was like, she's going to see, people are going to see her talent through what you do. And when you sent me that fight song days, with you and your daughter, which I gotta find out how the freaking world it even came about and where was y'all at, okay? Our theme for this fight tour is this fight song. And I'm like live and I'm like playing this song. And I literally thought you did not understand what I was saying when your daughter inboxed me and says, I had a praise dance with my daughter with that song. I said, no. There's no way you got a praise dance from the past with this song. I was like, I am too through. God, stop showing out. Cut it out. Oh my God. And she's tiny in that. So how old was she?
She was, I think she was about 7, 8. I don't know.
How old is she now?
She's 11.
She's 11. Mm-hmm. Tell me what happened, how they come about, and how the song was even
She's little. We were actually at a fashion show for Grace Academy of Small Wonders.
Okay.
I actually work with them as well, closely with the CEO. It's a nonprofit for little girls, teach them, how to basically become women, etiquette and how to love yourself and things like that. And so she asked us to do a song. And she sent a song, and I've always been the type of person, I don't just do stuff. I have to make sure that it's well with my soul. And it's in line with God. So, I wasn't really feeling it. And I was like, well, what about this one? Actually, it was called Black Butterfly, I think.
Okay.
I might be getting mixed. I've been working with her for a long time with it. But yeah, so I heard that song, and it went right well with her, because she's a Christian as well, and it went right along with what she was doing with it, and so we put it together, and that was our first dance.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw it said first dance. I said, oh God, I cannot believe this. I cannot believe this. So, hey, we're gonna do this dance. But I couldn't, when I saw y'all, and I was just like, God, this is so crazy, because to me, I told you that, I'm really big on lyrics and words. Like, I like to know what it know. I mean, whatever the beat says, child, I'm going to go to the lyrics. Even when people send me original songs, I'm going to type in lyrics.
Yeah.
I want to know. That's why that Tasha Khan with Nicki Minaj was so big for me. Because I love the words. I was like, come on through, Nicki. Come on, just do your thing.
I have to always rewind it. The kids, they know the lyrics now.
Right. and I had a client in my car. Yes. I had a client in my car, and she has a pretty distinct voice. So they was like, is that Nick? I said, hold on. Listen to the words. And it just touched my soul. But to see your daughter and you praise dance for the first time with this song, the lyrics to this song is literally what I'm talking about. Like, this whole thing, because every fighter that we are honoring, everybody has dark moments. And I think that it's a big deal that you have shared with me, all your great moments, but also some tough moments. And you have to make some tough decisions. And I'm like, literally, this song describes her and all of our fighters. And I'm like, how in the world can one song literally be like, can I just print that out for everybody? You want to know their testimonies, just read these lyrics. And so I just feel like, okay, God, what are you up to? What are you doing? So, I want to know your word, but I also want to know from you, like, you ain't got to touch a lot in depth necessarily about your testimony that's happened to you a couple years ago. However, I do want you to touch a little bit on it, and what do you think caused you to kind of get through that as a woman and a child of God, and as a mom of a daughter,
Which one you want to know first?
Give me the word first.
I chose fervent.
Y'all be all deep in there now. Did you expect that to come? Tell me about that. Oh my God.
Actually, I actually chose that word years ago. It used to be highly favored, but as you grow, things change.
Absolutely.
So I was like, I don't want to stick with highly favored, even though I still feel that. I'm like, I'm not. So it was a few years ago. I had got together with a group of ladies, and we were fasting at church, and so that's how actually the group came about. We just all kind of gelled together and worked it out, and so everybody was coming out with these, I don't know, we just called us like beauties or whatever. So they came up with these, and I was gonna say creative or crafty or something like that. And I'm like, no, crafty sound bad, whatever. And I'm real creative, and I do a lot of stuff, so they know that. And I was like, no, I want something different, whatever. And my mom, one of the words that she always called me, whatever, and I learned about myself was that I'm strong. And so I'm like, but I don't want to be strong, beauty. Like, you know what I mean? I want to find something else, you know? And so I looked up strong, and then it had, I'm like, I want to, you know, something like synonym to that. And, or synonym, sorry. Synonym to that. And I found fervent. And I was like, wow. Man, that was beautiful. So, like, you know, I just stuck with it. And I feel that. I feel like I'm just that, you know, intensity. You know what I mean? Like, of
you know, the
you
first
know?
thing to come to is that effectual, fervent, righteous.
Yeah.
My God.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think I've even heard that too much out of context from that scripture. Mm-hmm. So that is a big deal to even think about why. Because every word that's chosen was on purpose. When he says the books, the world cannot contain all the books. God was very intentional about every single word. And to think about that, the effectual, fervent, my God.
Effectual.
Look at that. You blessed my soul. I think that is the perfect word for you. And I think that that's going to bless a lot of people, because part of this, like I say, every other event we've ever done is always kind of in connection to, almost like a commercial about what we do and the open doors and connections, but none of this has anything to do with this. This tour, named by God, is also, I would say, fundraiser, because there's families that you guys may not ever meet. You may meet some more than others, but most folks will never meet. But that word, I want to look at every single person of our word, and when that family's going through whatever, who we decide to help, I know that word is going to resonate with them. And they're going to know who she is, whether she meets them or not. And to be able to share her story and that whole thing, we don't look like what we've been through, because baby is a goddess. I am telling you what. So when she sent me her brain dump, and when she sent me her story, I'm like, that's why you packed such a punch. That's why the devil was trying to take you out. That's why he was like sick all of his folks on you. And thank God that the Lord was like, not this one, boo-boo, though he slayed me, right? That's why I love Job. So I love that people understand what that word means and why you chose it. And I truly believe there's going to be women and men out there who's going to say, please give me Lakeisha Fervent for $1 million, please. I need that word. So did that version of that fervent, do you feel that that is what got you through that moment that you was going through in connection to your ex-husband and so forth?
Yeah, really. Going through that, it was that fighter in me, really. I wanted to fight for our relationship on one side of me, and then the other side of me was like, I need to fight for something bigger. And that bigger was my family, my sisters and my mom. Like I said, she'd been through a lot growing up with her, and knowing she, you know, was abused and different things like that, and then see my sisters go through it, and I vowed to myself, I'm like, I would never go through that, you know, whatever. And being married, it was a different type of abuse. You know, I went through the emotional, the mental, the spiritual. Like, you know, I just felt trapped, you know, and just confined. And even though it was done in a way where I didn't really even see it. Right. And then as I started growing in God and growing in myself more, like once we separated, and then, you know, that wolf in sheep's clothing, it was like, oh, you know, there was a change. Let's go ahead and try this again, you know. And that's when I should have just stepped. Like when I told my mom, you know, when I first told her, I was like, yeah, you know, I'm through, and I feel such a peace with it. I should have stuck with that peace. And instead, I was like, no, we building a nice friendship and everything's, you know, going on. I want to fight for my marriage, you know. I want to fight, you know, and get my family back, you know. And it just didn't work out that way. And so when that situation happened, like I said, I was like between the rock and the hard place. I want to still fight for my marriage, and, you know, God honors marriages, you know, all that stuff. And then at the same time, it was like, on the other hand, I told myself I would never deal with this, because this was like the first, like the biggest physical abuse. And even though there was others, it was that, you know, like I blamed myself. Oh no, it was because we was doing this. Oh no, I did that because of that, and it happened because of this, you know. And it was little stuff, but, you know, and it looked like an accident, you know. And so that's what I told myself. And I chose my family. My sisters went through it, and I'm like, no, I want to be the example that you can come out of this. You have to fight for your mind, fight for your heart, fight for, you know, real love, somebody that really truly care about you, and somebody that really wants to be there for you. So I chose them over, because I hid it at first. You know, only one of my sisters knew, and that's what got me through. I was like, no, I want to be a good example for them and for women everywhere that, like they always said, because I went to school for human and social services, and one of the classes I took was on, you know, domestic violence and stuff like that. And, you know, they say that a woman stays with a man, returns to a man, you know, abusive relationships 7 times. And I'm like, I'm not doing that 7 times. I said, I'm doing that once and I'm walking away. I'm not going to deal with it no more. I'm going to walk away from it. And that's what I did. And I having my daughter, and like, I had to fight for them. You know, I don't want her to see that or, you know, whatever. So it's just my family.
God. That's such a big deal. And that's once again, that's why I know you're going to change a lot of people's lives. I literally, you know about my Superman, so it was really hard for me to empathize necessarily when we're going through domestic violence, and to a county at home with one of my best friends. And this phrase, one and done, because I knew that statistic as well. So we're going to do one more, a little bit short one.